There are ghosts inside my body, and there's only one way for them to escape, and that's by farting just like one of my fishes. My fish keep farting in my tank. What's up, everybody? It's Friday, and somebody upstairs is banging around pots and pans. What up? We're deep in the quarantine, folks. We're deep in the quarantine. How you doing? How is everybody out there surviving with all these fish just constantly farting in our fish tanks? I don't know. I couldn't think of what to name today's stream. So we were having a laugh on Discord, and I realized, yes, I should probably title this "My Fish Are Farting in Here," or "My Fish Keep Farting in Here." Yep, seems about right to me. I don't know about you guys, but it seemed about right. I figure, hey, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Who knows? But a big shout out to everybody in the chat today. Michael Sarr first to the chat. Lady Guinevere, Reaver, Alex Doleski, Big D Smoke, Sunwise, Jared Byer. Those are the first to the chat today. Thanks everybody for showing up. We have concurrently right now. Where's the thing? They always move the control buttons around here. Only 43 people piled in so far, but it's a climb. And where's that button? Let's check the analytics real quick. Playbacks, where are we at? 62 people now. Viewer activity, nothing. There's no viewer activity. Stream health. Stream is excellent. All right. Yeah, we had a minor problem there to get the stream started. Little minor hiccup. Technological fish farts. And I might as well let you all know, all of the streams recently have been demonetized. So I want to give a big shout out to everybody who supports the channel. And first and foremost, let's go to this number right here, YouTube members. Let's check that out. Let's see where we're at. What is our goal today in memberships? Our goal today in memberships is to reach 100. And where are we right now? Let's see. Yep. 86 is correct. That number is legit. So all 86 members, thank you very, very, very much. And we also have to swing over to the Patreon because we're going to be over on the Patreon a little bit today, talking and whatnot. I know that it's quarantine time right now and people are strapped for cash and stuff. If you are somebody that can support and wants to support and are able to support, I appreciate it. If you're not, I fully understand. I get it. Don't worry. I get it. I fully comprehend what's going on. So let's see. We are down to... Oh, we got to go over here and click the button. 239. That's where we're at now. And I'm going to change the color on it because it feels like it should turn this color now. We will not get green until we go back up. How about that? How about that? Let's go with... Oh, that does look green, doesn't it? It doesn't look green on my color palette over here. Let's go with this color. There we go. It's mustard. It shall be mustard until it goes back up, and then I'll turn it green again, right? There's rules. And I just made them up. So hopefully everybody out there is staying safe, everybody's staying quarantined, social distancing, blah, blah, blah. All of the stuff that I think people have been hearing nonstop. You know what I'm saying? You guys have been hearing this stuff nonstop, and I get it. It's easy to get fatigued, but I would remind people, do not allow yourself to get fatigued right now. This is a very It's an important situation that we're in right now. This virus is very communicable, and it would be really easy for people to be like, nah, I mean, you know, it's been like a week, man. Can we go back to normal? Unfortunately, the experts are saying no. So let's not get too fatigued at this point. Moonstone says, am I good for diapers? Yes, we are good for diapers. We were short on diapers, and we lucked out. I don't know. We had to go somewhere. I forget where it was. We went somewhere and found some backup diapers, so diapers are fine. And then we got our regular delivery of diapers for the baby because we kind of – you get a discount. You get a pretty strong discount if you order them like on a regular schedule and they get them delivered. You know what I'm saying? I think most people are pretty familiar with that kind of situation these days. I mean, it's 2020 after all. It's the year 2020. So I think most people know what I'm talking about. But yeah, we got those in. And it seems that what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Screw it. Whatever I was going to talk about, I've forgotten. I think I started reading text here. Dave's Aquarium says YouTube has their moderating, said their moderating will be overzealous while they have people working at home. Not that I understand why. Yes, YouTube is being overzealous and demonetizing everything. And even when I asked for a review of the streams and stuff, they're like, no, they'll stay demonetized. So I don't know. Normally I get a manual review and YouTube realizes that I may or may not have said some words that made the algorithm freak out or whatever. But they're not like in relation to me like saying anything bad or anything like that. It's just like, oh, specific wording gets flagged by the robots. And yeah, so I don't know. But it is what it is, and it looks like today's show will be brought to you in part, by Randall Bowman with a $10 for the Fart Fund. Thank you very much, my brother. You know, you got to stay healthy out there. You got to keep farting. Flatulence is healthy. You know what I mean? You just got to do your farts, right? You can say you got to do your part, but I say you got to do your farts because, man, major jokes, bro. Big D Smoke says, voila, monetized for a $10 super chat. Thank you, my guy. I very much appreciate it. My income's taking a hit. It is what it is. You know, we're going to stay quarantined. We're going to do what we got to do. And we shall continue moving along ever forward. One thing I've noticed, you guys, is that, you know, YouTube is a super competitive platform, realistically, when you think about it. There's movies and all sorts of, there's millions and millions and millions of channels you could watch. There's all sorts of stuff that you could watch. But I will say this. There is something that I've noticed over the years, that the late night TV shows have managed somehow to create some kind of monopoly for themselves on YouTube. And I think a big part of that is, you know, you have Tom Cruise on your late night TV show. You make 3 clips and you put them up on YouTube and they're all like, Tom Cruise is blah, 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 right? And then people click on it because a super famous guy is going to get traction, and then it ends up getting moved up the algorithm. And also, there clearly is a front door and a back door as far as YouTube's concerned, and I'm pretty sure that the big TV networks, you know, pay to play in a certain kind of way for their advertising and all that kind of stuff, and get that priority. But I've noticed that, and I wonder who excuse me, get my Nicorette gum here. No, they're not a sponsor or anything. I just like chewing the Nicorette now because I quit smoking, and then I was vaping, and then I quit vaping, and I like chewing the Nicorette gum. I'm a ridiculous person, I gotta tell you. You know, so the thing that I really noticed over the years, what the hell was I talking about? Excuse me. Man, lost my train of thought. Sorry, the pollen count is back up around here. What was it I was talking about? I can't remember what I was talking about anymore. Yeah, totally lost my brain. Oh, yeah, I was talking about those late night TV shows. But something I've noticed is that the late night TV shows are really doing, they're doing their shows like from their house and stuff. And I think I find it to be a little bit offensive, like how bad they are. Has anybody else noticed that? It's literally like, you know, Jimmy Fallon's got $100 million in the bank or something crazy. And he's literally like on his cell phone, like, hey guys, I had to come home. We can't afford a camera or a light or a microphone, which boggles my mind. I don't even understand that. You know, I really don't understand, like just how like either ill prepared or like how much they don't want to actually make their production better, or maybe they think like, wow, this is so much fun. I get to just do my cell phone video. But what I've kind of noticed is like with the lack of the live audience, that it seems like none of them really know how to get traction with what it is that they're making, which is a real weird look behind the curtain. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, and maybe I'm just whatever, I don't know. But I think it's a strong look behind the curtain of like, oh, they're literally, their production is like, so Scarlett, how you doing today? Oh, you got a movie coming out. And I'm like, but it's really weird that you kind of like lose all of the substance that was, it turns out like the substance was so superficial that you just kind of like, yeah, all right, that's kind of entertaining or whatever, you know. Weird, right? Janice Longberg, we lost you there. We lost you, Joel, here. Anyone else? Don't know. The internet is totally screwed up these days because everybody at home, everybody using it. So, you know. And but either way, I noticed that, and it's kind of weird because I do like those little clips of interviews with people that I find to be interesting in a certain kind of way, like when I'm working. You know, if I'm out working all day for like 12 hours and I get to just listen to some clips of like, I guess I'll stay with the same guy. I'm not saying I necessarily think Tom Cruise is that interesting per se, but let's just continue to use him as the example. But those little interview clips with them, like kind of talking about a production or a movie that's coming out or that kind of stuff or whatever, like I personally do find that to be a little bit interesting, but it's weird when they lose like all of the production, the soundstage, the cameraman, the producers, the writers, the overlay guys, all of that kind of stuff. It just all sort of seems to just go into the toilet. Kyle Knudsen's asking, is the garden up and running yet? We are working on the garden actively. All of our seed sprouts are seeded and sprouting. That's pretty much where we're at right now. We had an early spring, but it was false because we kept getting these like 20 degree nights, you know. So it was like, it would be like 58 degrees during the day, and then at night it would be like 20 degrees, so everything would freeze like crazy. You know, and just to see like, you know, just to see that happen was a little bit weird, but that's what was happening. So we kind of were like, should we seed? And then it's like, we're looking, you know, should we sprout our seeds? And then looking at the 10-day or the you know, like the 10-day forecast is like, it's going to freeze a whole bunch coming up. So we kind of held off this last Thursday or something like that. We were putting in the seeds and that kind of stuff. So they should be coming along pretty soon. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to be posting those videos most likely. They're most likely going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? On Vicky's channel. I don't know if nobody really knows Vicky's channel and that kind of stuff. I will definitely promote it like on the community tab and that kind of stuff, but we're probably going to put them over there. It just feels like a smarter thing to do. We were putting some gardening videos on this channel, but I think what we're going to do is just start putting those onto Vicky's channel just to kind of keep everything over there, just kind of making sense that like that's the garden zone. Because right now it already is confusing enough for people to be on my channel when it's like, what's this live show thing that you do? What's the live show? Like, I only like the edited short stuff about sumps or something, right? And then it's like, and then I get all the comments of people like, what's this short thing? I thought you did live, and it's weird, and people get confused and they can't figure it out. So I think we're probably going to put it over there. And, I think it's just easier to keep it cohesive that way. Because my channel is my channel. I like to do what I want to do on here. And Vicky, I think, will only exclusively really be wanting to do gardening type stuff and weekend stuff. I have a rafting video that I was making that's like, I don't know, probably 90% done. I need some transitions and change the music here and there and that kind of stuff. But I was working on it and I was going to put it on this channel, and I decided like, nah, it's probably better to just go ahead and put, we'll just probably put that on Vicky's channel. And it will like make more sense over there. So whenever that goes up and that kind of stuff, I'll definitely give you guys a link. I can never find Vicky's channel on this computer. I have to access it via my other computer. I can't give you guys a link right now, but it will come up in the community tab and Discord, and I'll probably put it up on Patreon and that kind of stuff just to let people know what's up. So for right now, I think we have some chicken videos and stuff like that up on there. And I don't know if anybody has the link, so I don't know. Lady Guinevere going wild with a $25 super chat saying, thanks for doing what you do. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's big time that we do have this community here that helps with the production and stuff. I really am kind of slightly stressed out about the idea of what the future will hold for what my production plans are for this channel, because all of the travel stuff I was going to do is all canceled. So we're definitely not going to be, traveling to go film. That's all canceled. I'm not really going to be able to travel to go film other people's fish rooms. That's pretty much canceled because it's just sort of irresponsible at this point. Maybe it is possible that 3 months, 4 months, 5 months down the road or something like that, we'll maybe be able to start doing that kind of stuff again. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's going to happen or not. I don't know. The future is unclear. So right now, my current plans are just to keep working, keep my nose down, keep working on the projects that I currently do have here. So all that stuff is still going on, and working on the fish room and working on my shop and all that kind of stuff. I'm honestly thinking that. Oh, and the other thing is the makerspace. Like, I had planned on doing the makerspace, which would have been an opportunity for, would have been kind of a commercial space where people could have visited and that kind of stuff. But that seems to be on hold because we can't really like have people visiting or any of that kind of stuff. So who knows? Ariel S says, I've actually attended a few tapings of late night shows, and it's so practiced and staged. It's nowhere near like the live stand-up. It's all scripted. Most of the creativity comes from the crew / writers. Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those weird things. And I've definitely noticed that with those late night shows trying to pick it up and just make YouTube videos. It's kind of weird to watch them just be like, huh. Like, I know they're really talented guys and stuff, and gals, I suppose. I don't know if there's any female ones, but I know that they're all talented people. I guess that's a better way to put it. But I feel like they're just missing the millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of backup. Does that make sense? Like, who's operating the camera for me? Like, oh, that's you, bud. Wait, who's doing the sound? Oh, that's you too. Who's doing the editing? Well, you might be able to send those files off and have somebody else edit it, so that's cool. But I wonder if the editors have all that equipment at their house. It might all just be at work. Alex Johansson says, everyone is at home and YouTube views are going down. Why do you think that is? Hard to say, but it's pretty obvious that a lot of people are spending a ton of their time on the pandemic stuff. So I think that stuff's all getting promoted all the way to the front of YouTube. Seems to be the case. I mean, if you, like go to the front page of YouTube and you can kind of see what it is that they want to be promoted, or whatever it is that they're promoting is generally not... It's generally related to whatever is in the news like that day. So let's see. Casey Neistat uploaded a video. What is this, like 1 point? Oh, let's see. I wonder what this is as of, if I check it now. Where is it at? So 1.8 million views. It's because his friend Dan got sick. And I think this was like 5 days ago, I think. Looks like 5 days ago. So, it's like Casey Neistat's getting Casey Neistat views. I think pretty much everything is just, I don't know. My front page is super weird. So I would imagine that it probably looks nothing like your guys' main page. But, like, it seems to me like most of the stuff that's getting promoted is just, like NBC News has 21,000 people live watching it right now. And I doubt that they're even, like, doing any kind of coverage that is really that interesting. At this point, really, it's probably just a lot of the same stuff, but they're live, and 21,000 people are watching that right now. So... although I have seen that, people that are doing, I don't know, my views are all down, that's for sure. But it's hard to say, like, from my own analytics, like, why my views are down or not, or that kind of stuff. It's hard for me to judge because my channel's really old and it's never been doing awesome. So it's hard for me to really, like, look at something and go, like, wow, that's the analytic reason, like, why it's not doing as good as it normally does now, because I don't really have that much stuff to compare with really anything doing well. I'm really only know, like, what videos look like when they don't do well, which is they go in a giant peak like this, so I get a bunch of views, and then the next day I get a few views, and the next day I get none, and then after that, it's zero. All my videos do that, basically. To basically explain to people the idea that what people want to do is get a video that goes up, and then it just stays at 500 views a day or 1,000 views a day or something like that. Mine will get 1,000 views in the first 2 days, and then that's it. And then I've literally have 800 videos that probably have gotten 0 views in the last month. So it's hard for me to really break down the analytics off of my channel to be like, why is my channel not doing well? But a lot of it has to do with I live stream, I upload at, I upload at sort of on, I upload on a schedule. It's like scheduled the days, but I'm always like testing new times and screwing around, and I'll upload in the middle of the night, whatever. I I'm really just like down to engage with you guys, and if you all want to find it, then you'll find it. If you don't, then you won't, and that's just kind of what it is. You know, I think the reality of ever really getting any kind of sponsorship from some outside company is like this crazy crapshoot of like, oh, I emailed the right guy, somebody saw my thing this one time, blah, blah, blah. And I just like to stay in the pocket of just making stuff, and I just like to try and just do what I'm doing, you know. And if it's going to work, it will work by working hard and making stuff, I guess. I don't know, whatever. Everything always just seems like some kind of weird strategy and all that kind of stuff, and I'm just not... I guess, like, I'm already doing enough things that I just don't need to add that in and just stress myself out. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain where my head's at. I feel like I have a lovely family. I have a creative outlet. I have many creative outlets. I have lots of work. I have lots of stuff to do. So, I don't know. I'm just going to keep doing that. I have a healthy baby who's awesome. I don't know. I'm just going to keep rocking and rolling and see what happens. Natural Aquarium says, I think people watch YouTube from work and tend to watch more Netflix at home. Yeah, that's definitely a big thing. You'll notice that, like, I can say that the computer and home TV views are up and the cell phone views are down, which means that, generally speaking, people are at their house. They don't have their phone out as much like they do when they're working. So, just kind of a basic example of that would be, let's say, just for argument's sake, I have 500 fans in New York City, right? Let's say I have 500 fans in New York City that ride, and 200 of them ride the subway every day. And I upload, let's say, 4 videos in a week. Chances are a lot of those 200 people will have some time while they're on the subway to watch a video on their phone while they're like riding the train. They're probably not going to watch the Avengers on the train, right? Because you'd want to watch the Avengers on like your big screen at home. So that's just kind of those typical behavioral type stuff that you see, you know. That's definitely going to make a change a little bit. When I come onto YouTube, last thing I look for, where was it? Somebody was asking a fish question, and it scrolled by on the chat, and I swear I was going to answer it. Here we go. Sarah Paulison. I'm 100% saying your last name wrong, and I apologize for that. But your question is, do you have any insight on programming a Fluval 3.0 light? I only have a few plants now in my 165, and have more medium light plants on the way. Haven't had any luck finding a guide. You actually do want to look up Bentley Pasco. So let me see if he's in here. At Bentley. Nope, he's not in the live chat right now. So maybe one of the moderators can find Bentley Pasco's. Let me see if I can find. I wonder if I can do that. Let me see if I can do that. Hold on. No, we need YouTube's. YouTube, Bentley Pasco, Fluval. Let's see. Bentley Pasco Fluval. Well, I hate this keyboard. Too many keys do other stuff. Oh, there it is. Let me see if I can get a shareable link. Oh! Nope. I can add it to the queue. Why can't I just get a link? I want to share. Can I share it? I think I have to enter the video. I think I have to enter the video to share it. All right, let me see if I can't enter this video and get you the shareable link without... share. There it is. Copy the link. Copy the link. Oh.
So Bentley Pasco has been on the show. He's one of the moderators. I love this guy. He's one of my favorite people on the Earth planet, and he has done some fantastic, what's the word? Like how-tos, programming, like figuring out how to do the light and get it to the settings that you want. And here it is. Boom! I got you the link. There you go. So there's your answer right there. He'll walk you through it, show you what's going on. I could explain it with my words mouths, but Bentley did a better job. So just go check it out, and he'll give you a walkthrough. He's got a few different little videos that you could check out about the FluVault 3.0, how to program it, how he programs his, and I think he has some, what do you call it, like, I think he posted some of his, like, you could download his settings or something like that. Dakota Davies says, I just posted the screenshots of his light settings to the Discord. There you go. Okay. Yeah. So, who is asking that? You're probably not in the Discord. That would be my guess. I think that's only the first time I've ever read your name out loud. Sarah Paulison. Hey, to anybody out there out of the, I don't know, how many people are watching now? 80? Yeah, it looks like 79. Okay. Out of the 80 people, if you're not on the Discord, if you're not a member on this channel, I would encourage you to become a member. It will change this number. We're trying to get to 100. Or you can join up on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. It gives you access to our Discord, and Bentley Pasco is one of the people that are in that Discord, which I think I'm going to actually, we were working on figuring that out this morning. I didn't have a lot of time, but I try to get out there with the but. And we're trying to figure out how to stream from there, because I think I'm going to actually start doing, short live streams and stuff like that from the Discord there, because I feel like it would oversaturate this channel if I'm constantly like popping on like, hey, we're live again. Oh, we're live again. And people are getting a million notifications a week, but we are in quarantine and there is stuff to discuss that keep popping up, and I feel like Discord's going to be a great spot for me to be able to do that. Pop on live on there, have a chat back and forth, and I think we might try to do some roundtable stuff where we can have like a bunch of people live and stuff like that, and maybe get people comfortable with the idea of calling in to this show at some point in time, because today is Friday, and today's a Friday. We would normally have Alyssa, who's in the chat, Alyssa Bentley, who's in the chat. We'll go over some of her posts from the Patreon here in a minute. But she would normally be on the show, I think this week, but she's normally on Fridays. And but we're all social distancing and getting our distance with our socializingly distantly social words. So that's going to be, who knows? We all have to just keep changing whatever it is that we want to do. But it's I'm going to be honest with you, it's a real small sacrifice. Tiny. Microscopic sacrifice in comparison to some of the people out there that they're passing away, and that's could get way out of hand very easily. I can't go to I got the hacking taken care of, just waiting for my new card. Oh, yeah, I hate that, Punchy. I know a lot of people's information is getting hacked right now. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Punchy Paints, I know the timing was just great. Everything is shut down here. Banks are closed and my debit card was hacked. Can't do anything until the new card comes in the mail. Yeah, that sucks. That's weird that your bank doesn't have some kind of call center that you can call into, because when we were traveling, I was driving, and somebody got my information from a gas pump, I think, from a gas station, and made some online purchases that I wouldn't have bought. Come on now. Although I do get No, never mind. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But, yeah, that happened to me, and luckily I could call into the call center and was just like, hey, this is what's going on. Like, I just got all these charges. Like, I just got home from driving, and what is this? Like, I got this, my card was maxed out. It was, like, over the limit. I'm like, what the hell? What's going on? And they got it cleared up for me, actually, pretty quickly, and that was just over the phone. So, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it is weird that the banks are completely closed. You'd think that because a lot of people have switched to just the drive-through or the ATM, but there's somebody there, Although, what day is today? Friday? Yeah, so maybe they should be there. I don't know. Johnny Zelias says, please ship me. Don't know what that means. What am I supposed to ship to you? I don't know. Or who? Whom? Whom's supposed to ship to you? I don't know. I'm confused. Cooley Kev. That's good. Hopefully it arrives soon. Oh, despite shipping delays, yeah. Moonstone with a $10 super chat says, keep on keeping on. And hey, that brings up a point. I wanted to talk about this again because I like most of my ideas I share with you guys like on the live stream or whatever because I don't really care. It's not like patent pending or anything like that. But I was talking about this just a little while ago. Some people were asking, like, what is one of your first steps if you were to try and improve the world that we live in? Like, let's say if I was the president or something. Somebody was I think that's what the phrase was. Like, if you were president, what would you do? And my immediate thing was I was like, I would dramatically expand the post office. And some people actually understood what I was talking about because they were like, oh, do you mean to like how its former glory, right? Which you'd have a small bank in it. You'd have a small, you'd essentially have a small medical clinic in it, and the post office, obviously, and probably some other minor services that you could have. But, we all want packages delivered, and that's something that's never going to go away, right? Most of us, I would say, don't want a bunch of drones flying around and crashing constantly. That technology probably won't work well enough for another 20 years probably to actually get the drones to automatically fly around and not constantly crash or lose packages or whatever. And the thing about it is that we're going to want more packages. We want more stuff delivered. I don't want to see more workers that make $8 an hour driving a van around, like losing their minds out on the freeways and stuff like that. I would like to see more, regulated pay scales to, something that's respectable. You know what I mean? Like something that's a reasonable amount of wage that they're, the fleet vehicles and all that kind of stuff are maintained, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But I think it would be pretty much the best avenue of getting value out of essentially giving away free college and stuff like that without having to sign somebody up for what could potentially be the death of somebody else. And the reason I say that is like, right now, our institution is designed to like join the military, right? Now, barring whatever anybody's thought process is or anything like that, you realistically run into the theological problem of you could be contributing to somebody else's death if you are in the military. Like, yeah, I get it. I'm not here to really debate one way or the other about, they save more lives or not, or any of that kind of stuff or whatever, right? Doesn't really matter to this. I'm saying that it's a detriment to a lot of people to sign up for that because there's potential for the death and all that kind of stuff, and you also do lose a lot of your freedom for a really long time. But on the political side, we want to get value out of, for instance, providing free schooling, right? Well, if we had that triage clinic, basically, which right now, some insurance companies have these little clinics where medical assistants and stuff like that, nurse practitioners and things can take a look at people when they come in. Obviously, they're closed right now because of this whole craziness, but you could go in there, like maybe you have a sore throat. They could take a look at your throat. They could take your vitals. They could find out what's going on. If you had to get further, further medical treatment, they'd probably send you on to a clinic. But they could definitely swab you, send in the test, all that kind of stuff, and not expose you to the whole hospital, like all the crazy stuff going on in the hospital, right? I think if we could expand on that idea, it would be a great spot to start training new people to be, nurse practitioners, nurses, people that are working to become a doctor and stuff like that. Yeah, so I think that's important. The reason I say that there should be a bank there is that like easily accessible, regular banking for the average people that doesn't charge you all these like overdraft fees and crazy nonsense all the time would be awesome. Plus, a lot of people that could go work there and realize like, hey, I really like the financial side of things and doing banking and stuff like that. You're like, oh, okay, maybe this is something I want to be involved in because like mortgages are complicated. Investing in your future is complicated. Figuring out, all the crazy banking stuff, plus the tax scales, all that kind of crazy stuff. We need more people that know what's going on with that, right? And I think that would be a good avenue for people to do that work and work their way up and also get more and more schooling as they go along. Because like maybe they only work directly in the bank part 3 days a week and maybe they go to class 2 days a week or something like that. I don't know, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But I think it would be an honest way to go that we could all invest money into something that we definitely want, that we have value in, that all the corporations rely on. All the corporations rely on shipping, mailing stuff, all that kind of stuff, all that nonsense. That's all that's a reality that we're living in right now. And I feel like, we could definitely go down that path. And it would be a reasonable path to go down and try to just improve and make better people. Because that's the whole goal, right? We just want to make more people that know what's going on. And there's a much longer story about that. I think I'm going to make a video about it, considering the time that is happening right now. Chevy Fish says, bring back doctors or nurses who make house calls. Well, if our initial training of the postal workers was for them to be paramedics, guess what? They could have a bilateral move to joining the fire department or a lateral move to joining the police department or any of these other social departments that we have. Like, let's say all of the postmen were a paramedic. They'd already had their AA finished because they're being sponsored by the post office for working there and going. We really would want that, right? Plus, those people would be ready to move into those other careers that, maybe you don't want to deliver mail for 40 years and then retire. But there are people that do want to do that, so it would be available for them. I just think it's something that we know needs to be done, is like the delivering of all of this stuff, right? Like, all of this stuff needs to be delivered. That ain't going away anytime soon. And, the reality is, like, if you scroll back up here in the chat, you will find, where did it go here? Shelby Ray Lane says, Jeff Bezos is asking for donations to take care of contracted employees because Amazon is hiring all of these crazy people. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Amazon is hiring a bunch of desperate people to work these crazy hours for a short period of time because they're only a contracted worker, which means it doesn't have to give them health care, doesn't have to give them benefits, doesn't have to do any of that stuff. And then they're just going to fire them when it's like, oh, our volume has decreased, so we're going to have to let all these people then become jobless again. And you're like, what? How does this make any sense? You know what I mean? It's like there's a pandemic, ton of people got laid off, a bunch of people are unemployed, and then these like corporations swoop in to try and find desperate people to work these crazy hours, expose them to all this nonsense, expose them further in a situation, and then ask for donations on top of it. That like Jeff Bezos is asking for donations for his contracted temporary delivery people, right? So that, those people can feed their family and whatnot in a crisis. They have to go out and do some kind of crazy job and get paid a terrible wage, I'm sure. I have no idea what the people are making, but I'm sure it's not good, right? And that's like the world we live in right now. It's just kind of crazy. Let's see. Taylor Searleys, I don't know how to say your last name, and I'm sorry. Hello, could you possibly tell me why Rotala indica / rotundifolia is growing horizontal along the substrate? Side shoots are pretty typical, so growing along the substrate isn't that strange. But typically if something like that is sending out side shoots, it's normally an overabundance of light where it's at. And especially with Rotalas, if it's growing horizontally like that, it's because there's so much light pushing down on it that instead of growing vertically to go reach towards the light, it's actually will start growing horizontally along the ground. I normally just trim it and promote it to grow up if that's what I want it to do. I'll move it to another location where it's like a little bit less in the light. With LEDs these days, LEDs are so directional and penetrate the water so well. It's hard to tell sometimes, like, wow, there's a lot of light landing right there, but the plants generally will tell you with how they grow. Just a basic kind of, like a real basic rule is that if plants are carpeting and growing flat, now, this isn't every single plant. It's like I said, it's a generalized rule. If plants are growing short, compact, growing against the substrate, you generally have a lot of light on them. If they're growing and reaching up all the way to the top, there's probably not quite enough light for them because you got to think, they need that light. They need that light in order to create carbohydrates and simple sugars in order for them to grow. That's how it works. It's how photosynthesis works. So if they're reaching towards the light, that plant wants more light, and it's just going to keep trying to reach up and get more light and that kind of stuff. Whereas if it's generally sending out side shoots and growing flat down, spreading around, that means it's getting a lot of light on it, and it's sufficient light. That's basically what's going on. Vinosky Tank says labor must change after this crisis. Agreed, 100%. This is the crap that I've been talking about for I want to say 25 years, and that is depressing to think of it that way. I don't know how Bernie Sanders is still excited at this point. That man has some kind of weird iron constitution. I don't understand what is happening. How that guy's he's 1,000 years old and somehow still excited for social issues. Whether you agree with him or not, you have to at least be impressed by the man's intestinal fortitude to keep. I mean, the other day, I think yesterday, he was yelling in the Senate about how all these people are trying to bail out these corporations, which is weird because I'm expected as an American citizen, I'm expected to have 3 to 6 months of prepared money in the bank, right? Like I'm supposed to have that as a citizen. That's sort of the recommended idea, right? I mean, I've heard that my entire life. You're supposed to have an emergency fund, right? You're supposed to have that as an adult, which I can't say I have that 6 month. I really don't. So I'm not being a good whatever, but I do have the 3 month thing in a savings account that you can't open. You can't really do anything unless it's an emergency. So I do have that, but it's kind of strange that these huge companies like Boeing don't have, all of a sudden the market drops a little bit and they're like, we don't have any money. Oh my God. And you're like, they own the biggest building in the world. Right? How do you not have some savings? I don't know. It's very weird. Let's see. UG Aquatic says, Joel, I sent you some fresh views. Really digging the informational species videos. Yeah, I've been doing those for a long time. I should probably make a playlist of those because I think a lot of people get kind of lost in the what YouTube serves up to you shuffle. I think that's what ends up happening because let's say, okay, here we go. Let's just look through the list here, right here. So there's Pogostemon helferi, Rotella ramisaur, Persicaria, Sao Paulo, how to propagate aquarium plants, 3 ways for trimming, aquatic plants, DIY CO2 reactor, 240-gallon aquascape, the new beginning, 120-gallon of care, cryptocrine, crispatula, I always say that wrong, Kubitai, Rotella macandra, and that's just going down like what's just the newest stuff right here. Aquarium plants from Etsy, Cryptocorini tropica. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have to just, there's Amania sulawesi, Rotella bonsai. I've been doing those, and I probably have to make a playlist to help kind of people out that are looking for that. I think I'm realizing that at this point. I should probably make a playlist so people could just watch those real quick. But yeah, I mean, I do my best over the years to try and spotlight things and try to help out, but I think everything gets lost in the shuffle because I do the live streams and I do this other stuff and whatever, So, yeah. Moonstone says, well, you're ahead of most. Good job. I think the weird thing is that like people talk about the polarization in the U.S. is like, if I talk about trying to make a system better, right? Try to improve a social system that exists in the U.S., I get screamed at by one group of people that, big government, get out of here. But that's the group that gives hundreds and hundreds of billions more every year to the military. So I'm like, why are we expanding this gigantic military when we can't do something like expand the post office? What? And then the other group of people are like, I don't really know what they're all about at this point. I don't really know. And I don't fall into either of those two groups, so I don't really understand what they're on about other than just a bunch of nonsense, realistically. Let's see what we got in the chat. Joel D says, Boeing saw a dress at the mall that it looked cute in. Okay. UG Aquatics is his birthday. Oh, man, happy birthday. You're about to be all up on the screen. There we go. Boom. Adam Murat sent this in, the Helanthium tenellum, which I always try to say telenum, which is not right. It's tenellum, a small red carpeting plant that most don't know about. Enjoy. Yes, Helanthium tenellum, which I have a Helanthium that is related to this that I'm currently growing. Gonna make a species video about it. Gonna make a little spotlight on this on the green version of the cousin plant to this plant. You know what I'm talking about? It's gonna be like a cousin, second cousin, maybe from like removed up north. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm gonna do a spotlight on that at some point in time in the near future. But as you guys know, I get new plants in, and I don't necessarily want to be like, I don't necessarily want to be busting out like, hey, here's the whole thing when I just got it in the mail. You know what I mean? That's why I try to, if I unbox a new plant, I try to do a video that just says like where I got it, what it was all about. But apparently our likes are deficient. YouTube's just shouting out, like, you got to tell people to hit the like button because our likes are deficient, anemic. So I have to say that. And then if you haven't subscribed yet, you should probably subscribe and become a join member, blah, 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 blah. Okay. But Adam sends this in. Thank you very much, my guy. Very much appreciate. Very much appreciate. On top of that, the money, the tax cuts Trump gave them at the beginning of this administration, even Trump was saying they should be plenty fluid through this. Yeah, that's that's kind of one of those weird, the political situation that they did these gigantic tax cuts to the corporations. Corporations just did stock buybacks. The stock market went way up high, and then everybody said, look, the stock market's high, the economy's good. But apparently all of the companies are not set up to handle no sales for 2 weeks, I guess. I don't know. It's very bizarre to me, and it makes really not a lot of sense. Taylor Searle says, thanks. Love your tanks and videos. I watch them and rewatch them daily. Keep up the great work. Oh, thanks, Taylor. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's Nature Man. What's up? You can see It's Nature Man has been a member for quite a while because you can see they got the badge. That's the face of me. But watch out. You know somebody's legit when they have a badge of Mr. Chips. Is my dog. And that's how you know. I got to make a better version of it. It doesn't seem detailed enough to look quite right. But I'm working on it. I'm trying to get better at the 8-bit stuff. I'm not that good at the 8-bit stuff. What do you want me to do? I can't travel back in time to when I was a child, when 8-bit existed and was really cool and was the thing, and then train myself and then travel in time. You know what I'm saying? Big corporations are just like Jeff Bezos. Why use their money when they can ask for handouts from us? That's right. I try to crowdsource the projects that we're doing here, and I know it's a big stretch for, people that watch this channel sometimes to even be like $3 to $5 a month, and that's hard enough to do. And it's weird to see somebody with $1 trillion company being like, hey, I need you to pay my employees because I just don't want to. It's very weird. It's very weird to me. I don't understand it. I personally, I get the concept. I get the concept that somebody could be super selfish and in that manner. I get it. I understand it. I understand what it is, but I just don't understand acting like that and then thinking that everything's hunky-dory in your life. It just seems weird to me. But let's see here. Tales from the Man Cave is sent us in this lovely post right here, which is, every lockdown needs its project. Mine arrived in the mail. And I'm wondering if anybody can guess what this could possibly be. Does anyone out there know what this could be? What could it be? I don't know. Tales from the Man Cave letting us know that something came in the mail. And I feel like I'm hanging on this post asking questions when I should just boom. I said, God dang. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for this. I have to admit, I'm a little jealous right now. You guys know that I'm an acrylic tank guy. I do a lot of acrylic stuff. I have been getting a little ants in my pants to be doing some. I've been getting the ants. I've been getting the ants in the pants to do some rimless glass tanks. And I was trying to get some. I was trying to get some sponsorship. Basically, I was trying to get a sponsor to send out some tanks, and then we'd make videos about it. It didn't seem to work out. It didn't work. It didn't work out to motivate anybody in that manner. As far as the companies that I talked to, they didn't want to do it. They didn't want to do it unless I paid for it. But that doesn't really seem like a sponsorship, does it? It doesn't really seem like a sponsorship if it doesn't really seem like a sponsorship if I just pay for the thing and then I promote their company, right? Does that make sense? Does it make sense for me to do that? Does it make sense for me to pay full price or 90% of for a product and then somehow be beholden to a company that, like, it just seemed weird to me. It just seemed really weird. So that didn't work out. And then, because you guys know I'm an Amazon affiliate, so, you guys know, like, I'm not that mad at Amazon. I'm just mad at certain things that they do. So basically, here's a method to the madness, right? So I'm an Amazon affiliate. So if I recommend a product like this, like there's a link right there. If I recommend that product and then you go to Amazon and you buy stuff, I get a kickback for the advertising, right? So then I was like, okay, well, it wasn't going to work with those companies, right? It wasn't going to work with the companies to sponsor, sending out some tanks, using their products, making videos about it, which for some reason, unbeknownst to me, a lot of companies think has zero value. I don't know why, but they think it has zero value because it's on YouTube, I guess. I don't really know. I don't understand. I guess it's because it's on YouTube. They think it has zero value. I guess because they get to watch it for free, but I guess I always like to tell those people, like, yeah, if you watch a commercial on Channel 5 on your TV, right? You didn't really pay for the broadcast TV, did you? Or if you hear an ad on the radio, like, you didn't pay the radio to send you this signal, did you? I don't know. But so then I was like, okay, let me get a rimless tank. So I found this cool rimless tank. I started building the insert parts for it and making the video that would be like, hey, here's this tank, and then you guys could be able to make this tank or something similar to it, and here's the products I used, and then you hope, like, oh, maybe people will buy a bunch of products, and then I'll get the advertising fee, and that'll help promote the show and stuff, right? Then there's a pandemic, and we can't do that because there's a pandemic, and so the shipping goes away. There's no shipping fish tanks around. Even if it is a small fish tank, it got deprioritized on the shipping thing. So because we couldn't ship it anymore, they just removed the listing. So then I'm like, well, I can't make a tank video and be like, hey, buy this little, because I think the tank was like $28 or something like that. Which I think is affordable to most people. Like, if you wanted to kind of follow along and do the little project, then it would be like, oh, cool. I could do that for my house too, and I'll make my own version of it, and then we could have a battling fish tanks or something, and we could be like, right? And then we could have battling fish tanks, and then you could post them up on Discord, and then we could make a video about it, trashing each other's fish tank. I don't know, but I'm just like, yeah, that would be fun. That would be totally cool. And then now I can't really put that video out because the idea that was like, oh, it could make a couple of dollars from people buying stuff that they wanted to buy anyhow, and they didn't have to, like, just give me a couple of dollars or something, right? That goes out the window because there's a pandemic. So it's just kind of one of those times where I'm like, man, I really got to just, I don't know what I got to do, but, figure it out. The Fish Tank Nerd says, howdy, partner. What is up, Carlos? Good to see you, my guy. If you guys are looking for some cool content, Fish Nerd has some cool content. Honestly, I don't know how many times I laughed at he had a fish tank that fell over in the garage. You got to find that video. You got to find that video and check it out. You got to find that video and definitely check it out. Because it was cracking me up. It was cracking me up, dude, for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I still kind of laugh at stuff like that. But I've met Carlos in person. He's a rad dude. So definitely support him, man. I think I'm his only patron. I think I'm his only patronizer on Patreon. I'm going to check. I'm going to verify this. Patrons. Here we go. Crap. What do I... Where... Where do I go? Where do I go to check who I'm a patron of? Let's see here. Patrons. Benefits? Is that it? No. Relationship? That can't be right. I think I'm in the wrong buttons here. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think I'm in the wrong buttons. Active patrons, 239. Which is amazing. I have to admit, I thought a lot more people were going to go away, you know? But so far, why can't I find the button of who I'm a patron of? Hey, I'm going to find a creator. Let me see. Is it this? No. Why can't I figure out the buttons on this thing when I'm live on the freaking internet? Posts from my creators. There we go. Let's see. Who am I supporting? Nisi of the North, Raise Aquaria, Aquapros, Fish for Thought, The Fish Nerd, Knowing Better, Bentley Pasco, Pam Earlywine, and some others that don't even really have anything to do with anything in the world. Yes, I am the Fish Nerd's only patron. That's right. Me. The one. I am the one Fish Tank Nerd patron. Deal with that. Deal with that. I don't know who could deal with that because I'm the only one. I'm the one. I'm the number one Fish Nerd patron. That's me. Yeah. Coming in number one. It's a little weird out here. I've been quarantined for a couple days now and I'm losing my mind. Jay Davis says, I want to shoot the loser's tanks with my shotgun. I could put that together for sure. As long as they're local, I can make that happen. Yeah, easy. Simple. MD Fish Tank says, Fish Tank Battle needs to be a thing. We could. I think between you and I, we could probably put that together. I think the Fish Nerd would be in. I think Tales from the Man Cave clearly has a project, quarantine project. I think we could do that. We just have to, so same filter, same light, same tank. I think that's probably would be the stipulations, right? I think that would probably be it. And then you could use whatever substrate, rocks, whatever you wanted to do. I think that would make sense. Same light, same tank, same filter. Yeah. And we'd probably have to do nano size because it would otherwise be, to be brutally honest, like I have I have 120 gallon tanks, I have a 150 gallon tank, I have a 240 gallon tank, and oftentimes I get comments from people that are like, yeah, that works great for you and everything, but like, I don't know, I have a 10 gallon tank and I don't know if this relates. So that might actually work out. I was looking around Amazon to try and find some aquariums that would ship in a reasonable timeline, and I couldn't find any that would ship sooner than later, I guess. MD says no filter. Okay. So we do light and tank, or maybe it's just tank. Maybe just the tank has to be the same and that's it. So we're working in the same space, which I would say that like a 60p would probably be the best. I think that like 17 gallon 60p is probably, considering that's the competition tank out there. That's probably the tank that we would go with, I think. Yeah. I think that's what we should do. Yeah. Most likely. Oh my God, the Fish Nerd has a new patron. 2. He's up to 2 patrons now. He's doubled it. Doubled it. Which is crazy. You got to imagine that's 100%. That's 100% turnaround. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty wild. He says, dude, that's like my most watched video, and I still get people in the comments telling me how stupid I am. I guess my best advice with a video like that is just ignore the comments off of a video like that. Yeah, I think that's what I would do. Andrew Holland's down for the Tacoma Fish Tank Scape Off / destruction. Yeah, we've got a few locals here that we could probably do that. Maybe we'll make like a... So I know there's a lot of people that aren't basketball fans, but it's March Madness was canceled. So that's like the college basketball tournament. To those of you that are international or maybe don't know anything about basketball or whatever, there's like 64 teams, and then they all play each other until you get down to one winner, basically. So it's like 64, then it goes 32, then it goes 16, then it goes 8, then 4, then 2, then uno, right? So maybe we should do something like that, but obviously we're not going to be able to do it in March because there's only a couple of days left. So maybe we'll do April aquascapes or something. I don't know. But I guess, yeah, we'd have to do like fresh water, some kind of stipulation that it's fresh water, not somebody throw some kind of crazy, brackish curveball in there that everyone's like, oh my God, this is the only brackish tank. But maybe we don't care. Maybe we don't care and we'll just let people do whatever they want. Although some people out there with like gigantic reef tanks could definitely do some crazy stuff in a little nano tank, just kind of overnight, like glue everything in place and put crazy coral frags in there and stuff. I don't know. And it would just be temporary for them. They could probably just take it back out after they get their pictures and stuff. Charlie says MD and his like 6 to 9 projects in the making. That's a good point. I have to admit, somehow, here's the weird thing. Like, I was watching MD fish tanks and I didn't realize like how high his subscriber count and stuff was. Like, I just saw some of his videos and like, yeah, those are dope, man. I like that. And this guy's wilding out. Like, I dig it. Like, hey, that's a style I definitely enjoy. And then I realized like, oh man, that guy is like, he has a big following and stuff. Like, man, that's awesome. I love it when I see somebody who's like super amped, like doing fish projects and stuff, and then you realize like, oh man, he's got a pretty good thing going. That's pretty dope. Anyhow, let's get back on track here with our Patreon posts of the day. Which, speaking of patrons, I should probably check. We do have a new patron today. Oh, on my end, I got a new patron. It's Taylor. And I would normally not say your full name, but your full name is your YouTube handle. So Taylor Searles, which is a super hard last name to say. Searlays. I don't know how to say that right. Brand new patronizer to the channel. Patron, which means I got something to do here. I got some heavy, super heavy internet lifting I got to do here, which means we go up to 240. Oh my God, right? And that means we can go back to green. Oh yeah, it feels good. It feels good. I want to change the outline though. I want to change the outline color, although I can't see it while I'm have this thing open. Yeah. Oh, that makes my eyes feel weird. Well, that'll bug you out. Red looks weird. White looks not fun. Gray? Nah. All these outlines look weird. Maybe I should just go green. Just go super green, Corbin Dallas. Super green, Corbin Dallas. Corbin Dallas, my man. If you guys don't like that If you guys don't like that movie, I don't know what to tell you, because that's one of my favorite movies. Fifth Element, it's rad. And I hear they're making a second one, but I'm sure it's delayed now because everyone's sick, so whatever. But Alyssa sends this in. She says, staying home for a few weeks to try and ride out the storm of the CV-19 got me doing projects. This is a 26-inch diameter, half wine barrel and 84 by 102-inch piece of pond liner. So she bought a pond liner, she bought a half a wine barrel, and she's making some porch tubbing. She's going porch tubbing on us, which is pretty much always a good time. Plus 3 boxes of brass tacks. I poured a 5-gallon bucket of water into the bottom to weigh the liner down while I made the pleats around the edge so I could hammer it in place with the tacks. I'm waiting for a plant riser to show up in the mail since we can't just go out because we're social distancing, we're quarantined, we're staying, we're not doing all of those extra trips to the grocery store and stuff like that. We're not just running out for one thing. We got essentials. You know what I'm saying? We can't just run out and just get things at stores. We're supposed to be minimizing that right now. Right? I think that's what we're doing. Anyhow, where was I? I previously had this pot with Mondo grass set up as a little fountain last year, and I still have the plumbing running through it, but it needs to be lifted up and out of the water to work right. What common aquarium plants can I grow in our Zone 8 environment? Which, by the way, I got to admit, Zone 8 environment is pretty good, but I just had to let people know on the Discord the other day that Zone 6 is the jam. That's the best zone. I'm in Zone 8. I'm in Zone 8 also. So people would say, like, oh, you're supposed to rep the zone that you're in. No. I rep the best. You know what I'm saying? If something's working the best, if it's the best, that's what I rep. Zone 6 is clearly the best growing zone in the world. Period. Exclamation mark. You know what I'm saying? So she says, Justin wants some kind of lily pads. Can I just do dwarf aquarium lilies? Now, dwarf aquarium lilies, yes, those will work great. Pretty much any pond plants available at any store or online is going to be fine for Zone 8, Zone 7, Zone 6. Crap, I should look at my map. Now, most every pond plant available at stores, now that's kind of specific, yes, but them snores is doing some deep slumber. Most of the stores are going to carry stuff that can be in the frozen winter and then will return the next year more often than not, but not 100% of the time, that's for sure. But most everything that can be found at stores, dwarf aquarium lilies for sure. Valsneria is just impervious to pretty much any zone. It doesn't matter where you plant that crap, it's coming back. Though I'm not a fan, and for that reason, those would be kind of readily available. Tiger lilies, you just get the bulbs, add them in, and then a couple months later, you'll be like, oh my God, I have so many in this pond. So those will all be great. But basically anything that's bulbed up, you can get as a bulb is pretty much good to go if you're trying to do some tubs and stuff outside. That's the real easy button. Get the bulbs, drop them in there, and then they'll grow over the years. They'll just grow, and then you'll be like, oh man, I've got a whole bunch of plants. Look at me, I'm a wizard. But I love this project. I love being able to follow this project on Discord and check out what's going on. It's dope to see people utilizing some of their time. You got a little extra time, you might as well do some of these projects that you can. There's going to be a lot of people out there trying to finish their honeydew list, so just remember, check all your materials ahead of time. Make sure that you got what you need, and don't make all these extra crazy trips to the stores and stuff like that going around. And because it's a contagious, highly contagious virus out there that we're all battling. And if that's news to you, I don't know where the hell you've been. It's weird that you'd be on this channel listening to this show if you didn't know that. So just a reminder of that. Alf Teo sends this in. My guy, what's up? Says, great timing on the Pogo Stem and Hellfire video. I've had this one stem for a couple of months, but never got the chance to establish itself because I moved it around while doing some maintenance, which, by the way, in the Pogo Stem and Hellfire video I posted, I talked about that. I've had the worst timing in the world for this plant recently over the last 3 years for some reason. One of the tissue cultures was like in my suitcase for driving around. We were driving around on a road trip. I had some in my suitcase and it didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? So it just weird stuff like that kept happening with the Hellfire for whatever reason, and it's just nonsense. Just yesterday, it somehow got uprooted, so I've decided to let it share this pot with the Cryptocorini nurii, which, by the way, still way, way, way high up on my list as far as the Cryptocorini goes. It's one of my long-standing favorites now, especially since it's growing really well, and I'm likely going to trade some for some fish soon. We'll see. We'll see if that works out. I don't know. Social distancing means I might not be able to make some trades. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. Somebody, that's spray assault, but okay. I don't know what that means. I don't know what y'all talking about. What's going on? Geez, just brought out the refrigerator units from 911 New York City for some, what? I don't know. What's going on in the chat? What happened? I don't know. It's a lot of reading, try and catch up and figure out what the hell's going on in there. So I've decided to share this pot with Crypto. What do you think of its chances this time? I would say chances are pretty high because it's pretty clear that you have an aqua soil there, which is good for the Pogo Stem and Hellfire. It's going to likely do really well. Yeah, I think it's going to do really well. I think that's going to be great. It's not. It's probably going to do well in there, and it's up there close to the light because obviously this is one of those cool little glass hanging bulbs. Which Vicky ordered some of these a while ago, and I, for the life of me, have not been able to find them. She had them for some project she was going to do, and I wanted to add some of these, and I remembered that she had some, and then I have no idea where they went. So I was hoping to just find them and then use them, but now I have to get Vicky to show me where they are and then be like, oh, I'm going to use those. You know. Be careful, everyone. I'm forced to work, so I'm in the New York City streets every day. Yeah, I've been out there. I brought all my work home, so I had to drive all the way up, and I masked up, gloved up, did all that stuff that I'm supposed to do, loaded up all of my materials and brought it back here. I've been working in the shop, so I basically brought my work home. I'm building a bunch of weird parts for the aquarium co-op, so which I've been doing that up at the aquarium co-op, but I've been doing it down here in my shop. So little added to the garbage bill or whatever, but I'm saving in gasoline, so who cares, right? I think it's a wash. Plus, I don't have to drive all the way up there, so that's pretty helpful. But shout out to Aquarium Co-op and Corey. If you guys are looking for plants and stuff like that, they're still shipping. Everything's shipping from Aquarium Co-op, so maybe there's stuff on Amazon you can't find and you wanted to help support me by going to Amazon. You can help support me by going to Aquarium Co-op and just buy whatever it is that you wanted to buy, and they'll ship it to your house. You don't have to go anywhere. So Alyssa's project continues on, which is, like I said, I'm happy to watch this continue to evolve over the last couple of days for sure. Went to the hardware store wearing disposable gloves and keeping a generously safe distance from anyone, and looked around until I found the bottom half of a bird bath. It's a hollowed out pillar. I put it up on I put it up on pot toes in this barrel. Pot toes? I don't know. I'm confused. With the tube in it on top. Yes. The pot is on top of the bird bath post, and I think pot toes are those little things that make it so it doesn't fall over, right? I think. I don't know. Now this project can get rocking and rolling. We'll update when I have more photos. Well, thank you, Alyssa, for keeping us appraised because there are more photos. Now, here we go. Alyssa sends all these in, so we got our sponge. We got a lot going on here. Let's read from the thing. The hashtag COVID Chronicles. So with the hollow pillar, I decided the best option would be to use it as a filter. Luckily, I just happen to have 3 densities of sponge scrap laying around. Hoarder, cough. And I caught a rough circle out of the most dense sponge and shoved it in to be held in place with tension. The second most dense I capped with the least dense layer of sponge, the idea being that the larger particulates get filtered out first. I had already run some tubing up through this planter last summer, where I had it as a fountainhead in a much shallower pond, so all I had to do was get a little power head. I don't want it spraying to the ceiling, just trickling water will do. And with a length of hose, connect the power head to the output, to the existing plumbing. I also found a couple of seed heads for the existing grass on top of the planter and shoved them back into the lava rock on top. Hopefully that grass grows back. It was really pretty. I can't hardly wait to run more water into this. So you guys can kind of see what's going on. She got the 3 layers of sponge going inside this pillar, which is actually, it's probably way too smart for me to even really have any kind of involvement with this anyhow. It's, you know, it's probably too smart and too clever for me to really be involved, but I appreciate my friendship with Alyssa, so I think I'll just be like, yeah, appreciate you. As we got these sponge filters going on the inside of the pillar to spill back down into the main housing. Like I said, it's probably too smart for me to even have any involvement or claim that I had anything to do with this. Because this is all Alyssa's crafty McCrafterness, which is rad. And, yeah. So if you guys want to check out the kind of detailed photos and stuff like that, you can always spin over to Patreon, which there's like kind of the header that's on there. I can't find this font anywhere, so I can't reuse this font for anything, which sucks. But appreciate tying that in. And if you guys want to look at that, you guys can head over to Patreon and look at it all you like with your eyeballs and your fingers and do whatever it is you got to do. Let's see. Desert Fish Keeper says, my job is considered essential service, so we have been working, but supplied with good masks and gloves, PPE. My boss just sent a group chat that we will be dispatching from our homes. Yeah, that does make sense. You know, there's a lot of stuff that still needs to happen, a lot of work that needs to happen. My work is not considered necessarily essential by the standards of, well, I guess my work is considered essential by the Washington State standards of like what it is that you're doing or not doing. But luckily, you know, I talked with Corey and he was like, hey man, can you just make those from home just to limit exposure and stuff? And I was like, yeah, I can definitely clear out some space in my shop here at my house and do some of the work here. And luckily it's working out. I have really just been doing the like, oh, let me do 2 hours here, come watch the baby for a little while Vicky goes to work, because we don't have any daycare, we don't have anything like that. So Vicky goes to work for a little while, then I go back to work for a little while, then we just keep switching. Then it's dinner, then you know, get some work done. I work up until about midnight, then go to sleep, get up at 5. You know, it's just been a little bit crazy. Even though I'm quarantined, it's been a little nutty because all of my regular work basically still exists, but this person, this little micro tiny person right here, is here now. So, yeah, we've had that going, and that's a thing, right? I'm gonna refresh the Patreon because Johan shared something, and Brabra shared something, and I was able to actually look at it on the other computer that it wasn't a picture of anybody's butt or anything like that. You know, you always got to be aware. You got to be eyes on the prize. You got to be aware that you don't accidentally post something that's against the community guidelines, like a man's nipple. You guys know what I'm talking about. You've been to the internet before, right? You just got to make sure that we follow those community guidelines, because that's reality. You just get demonetized constantly, but that's all right. Oh my God, the super chats are piling up. We better grab these real quick. MD Fish Tanks with a 8 pound 1 pence. Is that a pence? I don't know. I think it's a pence. I think their penny is a pence, right? Something like that. Super chat says, thanks for liking my channel, Joel. The strange amount is exactly $10. I appreciate it. Thank you much. I understand the strange amounts, the conversion rate. Dig it. You know what I'm talking about. Hey, man, thanks for liking my channel. I like your channel. You like my channel? And we just will be like, we're liking each other's products. And we got to work on this tank battle. We got to figure out the tank battle thing. We better jump on that before somebody else steals our idea, right? Otherwise, they're going to steal our ideas, and then what are we going to do? We'll probably do the same thing we were going to do anyhow, which is the tank battle thing. Somebody else would be like, you stole our idea. I'd be like, I don't even care. I'm over it. Charlie says, I'm monitoring symptoms daily, and I'm taking temps at the beginning of the shifts as well at the end. Yeah, it's seems to be one of the only things that we can do at this point is to double check our symptoms and stuff and make sure that we're asymptomatic and, you know, hygiene, all that. Pleco Guys is exactly Florida. The hotel is actually owned by the dad of the main star of the MTV Siesta Key show. I don't know that show at all. He's a billionaire lawyer and only cares about money. Everything else around here is closed except this hotel. Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Oh, Pleco Guy says, I clean pools in Florida. Oops, I'm losing my chat. In Florida, I'm literally cleaning a hotel pool right now as we speak, and it's still open. There's people around the pool right now. Wow. That is unfortunate to hear. I can't imagine. I really can't imagine, like, who those people are at this point, where it's pretty clear that there is a worldwide problem. Maybe you don't want to call it a crisis. Maybe you don't want to call it a pandemic. Maybe you don't want that. But it takes a really selfish person at this point to be like, oh, I'm just going to be out at the pool. You know, I think, personally. But that's just my opinion, man, right? Like the dude. Sam Malone with a $5 super chat says, can you propagate stem plants in a certain way not to grow aerial roots, i.e. Rotala, Bacopa, Alternanthera? Yes, I have illustrated that before. You don't let them grow too tall. You trim the tops, replant the tops, and pull. So you pull the whole plant out. Take the plant, trim the top off, replant the top. Boom. That's going to be the best thing that you can do. That piece is going to re-root into the substrate and grow and continue to be a plant. Eventually a plant, once it becomes too long, utilizes aerial roots, which are all those little spindly roots that come off of a plant. They realistically utilize those aerial roots to provide nutrients to the end of the plant once it gets too long, because you're just essentially talking basic physics of trying to get nutrients from a really long distance. The plant will just prioritize, all right, let's send out some roots out here that'll help us pull more nutrients out of the water column. A lot of plants have the ability to pull nutrients in through the, damn it, can't remember the name of it. I'm just going to call it skin for the comprehensive process of explaining this. because I can't remember the name of what it is, so I'm just going to say the skin. It's a form of crap. How do frogs do that? Oh, man. I'm losing my mind. There's a name of it. Crap. I'm going to look it up. Frogs take in nutrient via the skin. What the hell is that called? Let's see. The ability to absorb nutrients through the skin. There's a word for it. Where did it go? Me and my brain today. What is that called? Let's go to this website and we'll take a look. Okay, why? Okay. This is not being helpful at all. Frogs known as the drinking past. Really? Like, nobody... Okay. Well, the internet's not helping me right now because I'm live on the internet. It's always going to be a pain. If I wasn't live, I would look this up and just immediately be like, oh, yeah, that's it. But, of course, I'm live. Osmosis. There we go. You guys already got it in the chat. I couldn't find it online. It's driving me nuts, though. Through osmosis. Yes. Osmosis. There. Yes, through osmosis, plants can take in some nutrients and stuff essentially through their skin. The process of osmosis can respirate nutrients through the plant from the water column, right? It can take some in, but it's not very efficient. It's not a really efficient way for a plant to do that. It's sort of doing it out of desperation, but it can send out those little aerial roots that are really like, they're I think they have smaller phylum on them. I think that's the word. We've been on here for almost 2 hours. I'm starting to lose my brain. That are able to grab nutrients from the water column. They're just more effective at it than the roots that are under the substrate. And the plants do that just to get nutrients to the end of the plant where it's growing from. So where the continued growth is going, that's what's up. All right, let's get these Patreon things handled real quick. And we'll get rocking and rolling. Alana Suki sends this in. How can I, or should I even try, fix this plant? Do I cut off that little part in the front that is growing and let it start grow over, or just let it continue to do what it is currently doing? I personally would manicure this plant. I'm going to be doing an Anubias trimming plant video very, very soon. But the easy way to explain this would be take the small portions of the propagating rhizome, right? So the portions that are propagating, and remove those from the main rhizome. Put that rhizome somewhere where it's out of, so where it's being unattractive, basically. The aesthetic is missing from that, and it'll likely sprout some new plants, trim those off, put them where they'll be more aesthetically pleasing, and it will continue to propagate that plant. Keep doing that process, propagating. With Anubias, it's the best way to go. Percutaneous absorption. I gotta look this up. I gotta verify percutaneous absorption. Let's see. Percutaneous dermal absorption is the transport of chemicals to the outer surface of the skin, both the skin and into circulation. Skin absorption relates to the degree of exposure to and possible effect of a substance which may enter the body through the skin. I think that's only applicable for the epidermis of typically a mammal. I think percutaneous absorption is only for mammals, I think. I might be wrong. The stratum corneum is the layer of epidermis which functionally is the most important and limiting percutaneous absorption, showing, I think that is specific to like mammals. Let's see. 1971 blank penetration of low molecular weight alcohols into the skin, effect of concentration of alcohol and type of vehicle. Dermatol. Yep, 1964. Published. Yeah, I think that has to do with human skin and stratum. Yeah, there it is right there. Klingman. Christopher's. Preparation of isolated sheets of human skin. Yep, I think that is related to human skin. We would need to see percutaneous absorption plants. Let's see if there's a plants. There's a name for this, and I would typically have to have probably looked this up before I made a video, just to double check. Yeah, it seems that like dermal absorption is related to mammals more than anything else. Yeah, so I don't know. I'd have to look up the process just to make sure before I made a video. Yeah, and I don't want to like speak out the side of my mouth during a live stream and be like, yeah, that's a fact. But that is how aerial roots operate, and that's why they show up as a kind of a simple explanation, but that's the best way to work your way through it. And hopefully, Barbara, that helps you out. I think sooner than later I'll have that Anubius video out because I'm doing I'm going to be doing a bunch of whoops. Crap. Whoops. Cancel. Don't do that. Google for foliar feeding. There it is. Foliar feeding is the way to explain it. There we go. Foliar feeding is a technique of feeding plants by applying liquid fertilizer directly to the leaves, which this is what happens to plants underwater, essentially. Plants are able to absorb essential elements through their leaves. The absorption takes place through their stomata and also through their epidermis. But I think that epidermis is different, right? Epidermis. Yeah, I think this might be pronounced differently. Whatever. Transport is usually faster through the stomata, but total absorption may be as great through the epidermis. They're unsure. Plants are also able to absorb nutrients through their bark. Foliar feeding was earlier thought to damage tomatoes, but has become standard practice. That's right. We do that kind of pretty regularly. And foliar feeding is pretty much what you're going to need to look up to research that so you can continue looking through it. But yeah, it's essentially osmosis is kind of the process, right? There we go. All right. Johan sends us in. No schooling, guys. No schooling. Social distance, you clowns. Look at these clowns. They must adhere to the social distancing, but they are not. They're fish. Don't worry. Fish won't catch the coronavirus anyhow. I was going to say, don't say coronavirus because we'll get demonetized, but doesn't really matter because y'all seriously super chatted today and we could get demonetized, but they can't take away the super chats. That's the funny thing. You can get demonetized and lose advertising, but they can't take away super chats, which is kind of weird. Viewer activity. We have no new members today. All right. I thought we were going to have some new members. Why is viewer activity not loading? That's weird. Huh. Normally, I'm able to go through the video or the viewer activity tab to say shout out to all the super chat people, but it's not doing that right now. It's not loading. I don't know why. Let me see how many super chats I can find here. No, I can only find 2 in the chat. All right. But big shout out to everybody that super chatted today. We don't have to worry about demonetization from saying coronavirus. So because of y'all, we got a brand new patronizer, Taylor. Thank you very much for becoming a Patreon. That is super rad. Oh, and Dakota Davies. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dakota Davies, for becoming a Patreon also. It's not showing up because I think you were a Patreon previously, so it didn't send me an email to let me know what was going on. So shout out to Dakota. Thank you very much. Also, thank you, everybody, for your engagement and, chatting and having a good time and hitting the like button and all that stuff. It's very it does not go unappreciated. I just want you all to know that. Just being here is awesome, and having a conversation is rad. Being stuck in quarantine is pretty rough, but we'll be able to get through it. Hopefully we'll be able to get through it with some increasements on the old Discord, and things will be going, hopefully, a little bit better in the future. And Dan, you showed up right at the end, man. You're late. Dan! You are late. Bub. Anyhow, love you guys. Everybody just stay safe. Do what you got to do. Minimize your risk to exposure. Just don't be spreading this whole thing around, man. We got to just keep doing what we're doing, and I'll talk to you all on the other side of the other thing